Hello, my friends on YouTube. Today is Sunday, the 12th of February 2023. Today's video is the future of Islam. Before we start, I would like to express my heartfelt to the people in Turkey, in northern Syria, about the disaster of the earthquake that it took place there. And my request to you, if you have the ability to donate to help to relieve the pain and the suffering of the people there, look for the place that you can donate to, or Red Cross, or whatever institute that you would like to use to donate to help. Okay. Today's video is the future of Islam. Actually, this happened a while ago, but because of the situation in Iran and what was happening, I couldn't speak of it. And it is about an Islamic leader in Saudi Arabia who is the Justice Department sentenced him to death, to be hanged. I really don't know if they want to hang him or chop his head off according to the Islamic tradition. Whatever. I'm not really for that. I'm not with that. I'm against that. The reason is the man has different opinion to that of the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. However, I cannot blame the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia about what, if he is going to command his execution. And I'm going to say why. I'm not for death. Let's know who this man is first. His name is Awad Al-Qurani. He's a PhD in Islamic. He's an Islamic scholar, and he has an opposing way to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. And in a normal society, that's fine. I could have even a different idea or different opinion to that of my wife or my brother or my father or anyone, and I shouldn't be killed. Neither is the other person. However, that's not the case in Islam. And I'm going to put the links in the description box. Okay? To start with, when Islam started, the founder, he killed, he assassinated rather, all of these who opposed or had different opinion to his. For example, I made a video about that. A man was called Ka'b ibn al-Ashraf. He was a Jewish scholar, and he was a very wealthy merchant, and he was very well learned, and he wrote poem against the teaching of Muhammad, telling him all that you are talking about is stolen from Jewish Christian faith and other stuff that you picked up some places when you were traveling in your working for Khadija back then, before she became his wife. That's nothing new. So he didn't like that very much, so he assassinated him. He assassinated Asma bint Marwan, also a woman. She was also Jewish, and she was very well learned, and she wrote poem criticizing him. He assassinated her, sent a party to kill her. Qirfa, a Jewish woman also. She criticized him. She was brutally murdered. She was a very old woman, by the way. So he was in charge. He was in the office. He was in power. So anyone who opposed him got rid of him. The same with his followers. Whoever stood against them, kill them. Kill them. All the early followers, they murdered one another so that they can rule. They can have total control of the money and the wealth and everything, and the women. Okay, so I'm going to put all the description. The thing is, this man, Awad al-Qarni, or Dr. Awad al-Qarni, he has an account on Twitter and another one on WhatsApp, and he has a different opinion to that of the Crown Prince. He shouldn't be killed according to normal societies or average society. He shouldn't. But he proclaimed to be an Islamic scholar. If you are an Islamic scholar, I'm going to put that in the description box. You ought to follow the leader, even if he whipped you, if he beat you up. You should say thank you according to the tradition that it came to us 1400 years ago. You're not. So what are you? You're not following your own teaching. You teach that to people, that they should follow the leader, even if he beats them. They should say thank you. Okay? Furthermore, you should follow, it's called Al-Imam Al-Mutaghallib, which means the person who takes charge and sits in the office, even illegitimately he takes the office. Once he's in the office, you ought to follow him 100% and not to express your own opinion. So one of two to this PhD Dr. Al-Qarni, isn't that what you are teaching? Isn't that what came to us 1400 years ago, and you have PhD in this stuff? It tells you to follow him. Follow the Crown Prince. You should not express personal opinion. You are going against the teaching of Islam. And once again, I'm not encouraging his death. I hope he will never die. Okay? But I'm just making a point here. You are teaching this all of your life. All of your adult life. You studied that and you are teaching that. And now you are going against it because you don't like what the Crown Prince is doing. And what the Crown Prince is doing is actually taking the country. He came to the realization that this style of life is rigged. I remember Donald Trump, when he was debating with Hillary Clinton before 2016 election, he was telling her, as a politician who spent most of her adult life as a politician and a wife of a politician and knows how politics work, he was telling her plainly, the system is rigged. And she was telling him, no, our system is the best system. He told her, the system is rigged, and the way I know it is rigged because I use it. And of course, all businessmen use it because it benefits them to make them pay less taxes. Not just Donald Trump. He's not stupid. He's using the system that helps him not to pay so much tax. So, the same thing, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia is using the system that you are teaching to his benefit. Because if he doesn't use it, you guys are going to kill him and put someone else from your group and make him the leader, and then at this time you'll say, hey, he's the leader now, everybody must follow him. No. It's what's good for the goose, good for the gander. You chose this and you follow this teaching, so now you taste some of your own medicine. It's not that I want you to be killed. It's not that I want any of this Islamic leader or any other leader or any other person to be killed. But this, what you were teaching, and it's coming back to bite you. Okay. What does that have to do with today? Today, we know that Saudi Arabia and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia is taking the whole country and probably the whole Gulf area with him towards renewal. I believe he came to the realization in his mind and heart and mind and brain that this Islamic system and this Sharia law and all that stuff, I call it nonsense, is not going to advance anything. And at the very end, people will rebel and it will be a bloodbath in the region. Because you can't force people to accept one idea, even if you call it religion. You cannot force people, Islam or the sword, Islam or pay jizya, tribute to the leader. If Islam is good, people will come to it. Alright? It should not be by force. If it's good, people will come to you looking for you. But if they are leaving, it means they are not happy with that. It means you didn't meet their expectation. Something wrong. And you have to admit that. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia admitted that. The problem is now today is Iran. Iran, they know that their system is rigged. They know that Islam has no future. But they are in office. Okay? They are the leaders. They are leading the country. So what they do? Put people in prison, murder them if needed. There were many executions, young people, men and women in Iran who have been sentenced to death. Why? Because they spread mischief in the land. And this is in the Quran. So spread mischief in the land, you ought to be killed. But they are not going to kill all these young people that they are demonstrating outside on the street in Iran. They will kill millions. And then it will get worse if my son gets killed or my daughter gets killed because she demonstrated, and I'm not really at the age of demonstrating myself. And let's say if I myself don't believe in the demonstration and one of my children get hanged by the authority, I myself will go out. I will demonstrate. The whole country will be against them. So what they do? They compromise their religion, of course. They let these young people, tens in my last video, tens of thousands have been released. And this contradicts the idea that if they are doing mischief in the land, they ought to be their hands and their feet from opposite side should be chopped off, and they will should be hanged on a cross to die. You didn't do that with them, so the leaders of Islam in Iran are going against the teaching. It's the same thing what's happening in Saudi Arabia. It's what's convenient, really. Okay? It's what's convenient. So the religious authority in Saudi Arabia, they feel they've been oppressed, because before they had the highest word. Whatever they said, it was a law. Now they cannot, because the crown prince stopped them. However, in Iran, they haven't yet been stopped. They are still in office. So they try hard. They are not. No one will just surrender his authority just like that. Okay, you don't want me in the office? Okay, thank you very much. Here's the key and I'm leaving. No, they are fighting back. And they will keep fighting back. And that's the history of Islam. By the way, no Islamic leader leaves when his term is finished. It's either they have to die in the office or be removed after they are killed. Okay? From beginning, Muhammad was poisoned to remove him from the office. His first caliph, he was poisoned to remove him from the office. The second caliph, he was murdered in the mosque by Muslim. The third caliph was murdered. The fourth, all of them, they murdered one another to remove them from authority and take over. Once that new leader takes over, there is one hadith, and I'm going to put it in the description box. It says, once he becomes the leader, everyone ought to follow him. No doubt, no criticism. So, why is it that Dr. Kearney in Saudi Arabia criticizing the new leader who took over? Isn't that in the teaching? It is. And you're going against your own teaching. So taste your own medicine. And that does not mean I want you to be killed. No. But this is what you taught for 1400 years. It's bearing fruit now. And it's coming back to bite you. Okay? It's a matter of time in Iran. They haven't yet come to the realization that either we do like Saudi Arabia, or at the end somebody will get us and will be like the leaders who one of them killed in the mosque, one of them killed in his bed, and so on and so forth. We will be murdered. That's what this religion pioneered for. Okay? The religion of Allah, the peace of Allah, the love. There is actually, very interesting. It's good that I said this word spontaneously, because in this religion, there is nothing about love. Nothing. Only love. Only God loves those who follow His path obediently. Other than that, God hates the infidel. God hates the non-believer. God hates. Always God hates. Okay? He only loves those who they say yes sir. If you doubt, Allah hates you. So that is a fact that it's coming to bite you now. And it's either you wake up or, as I said many times, the end is near. Thank you very much, and we hope to hear from you.